went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June, 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Banbury's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bleeding.
You're watching TOON Army TV. Welcome back to the channel. This is your match preview between West Ham United and Newcastle United this Saturday at the Olympic Stadium. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, and the game will be played live on Free to View TV channel Pick, and I'm looking forward to it. It's only a couple of days away now. It was only a month ago that the season concluded against Liverpool, and if you'd asked me a week ago, am I looking forward to the new season, I would have said nah, I'm not looking forward to it. The squad is weak. Andy Carroll being our only fit and out striker will come off the back of a failed takeover. Injuries everywhere. Dwight Gale, Martin Dubravka. And there was just no positivity coming from anywhere. But it's amazing what a week can do in football. Well, for West Ham, nothing really has changed. So if you haven't seen these previews before, I'll talk about West Ham in the second part of the preview. I have got a West Ham fan on the channel, so stay tuned for that. It'll be on any moment. He'll just give us an insight on what's going on. All things West Ham United to build up to the game, his thoughts, his opinions, and share the love. Subscribe to him as well. I'll leave a link down below in the description. If you haven't seen this channel before and you like the content, please hit that like button, subscribe, turn on your notification bell. I am less than 30 subscribers away from 3,300 subscribers on YouTube, so if you could do that, hit that subscribe button. It would really support me, support the channel going forward for the new season. I really want to smash it this year. I want to try and get to 3,500 subscribers by Christmas, and I can only do that with your help. So let's jump straight into it. You know, I'm absolutely buzzing for the new season. Who isn't? Because if you'd asked me, like I say, a week ago, it would have all been negativity. It's about time Mike Ashley pulled his fingers out and started spending on some players, because from last season we finished 13th, and you want to look to building it. I know we've got Steve Bruce as the manager. He's not the most motivational type manager in the world, but he's one manager. And either way, the board have to get behind him regardless. If he wants players in, then the board have to react by getting them. And Steve Bruce has managed to get the men that he wants. You know, we've signed 3 quality players this week in Callum Wilson, you know, a player to watch out for West Ham, because he's got a good, you know, goal scoring record against you lot. He knows where the back of the net is. He's going to be our focal point this season. You know, we were after a striker, and he's definitely going to get the goals if he's given the right service. You know, if the ASM, Joe Linton, you know, Shelby, Hayden, Fraser partnership, if that clicks, we are on to good things this season. And talking of Fraser, another one from Bournemouth who has a good working relationship with, you know, Callum Wilson. And Callum Wilson's one of them where he wants the ball played at the right time, and he could do that. You know, Ryan Fraser, he's got pace, he can cut in, you know, he can pick out a man, he can assist, he can do it all. You know, for a free and absolute steal at the age of 26. And not to mention that Wilson is 28, you know, he's coming at his prime. And them two are going to really work well together alongside ASM. And not to forget Jamal Lewis, you know, a left back we were calling out for desperately. We needed one, and he's only 22. He comes from Norwich. He got relegated last year, but that's not the point. He was one of their most promising, you know, youngsters last season. You know, he was linked with the likes of Liverpool and all these other clubs, and he's got real potential of doing something at this football club. He's playing with better players. He's very attacking minded. He'll get forward. He'll track back, and I feel like West Ham could really struggle, you know, with Jamal Lewis in the side when they come up against him on Saturday. And I feel like he's definitely going to hit the ground running. But overall, you know, we've signed Jeff Hendrick, you know, who's going to be a workman type midfielder who's going to get up and down the pitch. And of course, Mark Gillespie, who I think will be a backup keeper. We're still doing more, you know, work in the transfer window. And that's the exciting thing. I haven't been this excited for a new season because of what we're doing in the transfer window. Like, Mike Ashley isn't used to treating the fans. You look at the board right now, they're reacting. You know, they're trying to bolster the side, and we're looking good. And going into it, it's not going to be an easy game, you know, from a Newcastle fan's point of view. Just because you've got problems doesn't mean that you're going to be a soft touch. You know, the Olympic Stadium is a tough place to go. I've seen the lads play up against you lot last year, and yes, I know it's a bit toxic at times, and we did beat you 3-2. We've done our best to try and bottle it. But I just feel like, yes, we are hitting you at the right time, but the lads still need to gel. They still need to try and find out how Steve Bruce works amongst the formation, and they need to try and, you know, find their way, you know, into the squad. You know, Jamal Lewis, Fraser, Jeff Hendrick, you know, Wilson, just to name a few players there, you know, who we've got, who need to try and, you know, find out how the squad, is going to, roll over the course of the season. And I feel like with that, you could take advantage of it. The London Stadium, it's going to be on TV. We're going to be the favourites, of course, but being on TV could add pressure. But I feel like with the players we've got what it takes to do something, but it's going to take a bit of time. It's not going to just happen, overnight. And I'm not going to, get all worked up for the first game of the season, whatever happens. Of course, you want to try and win the game, but if we can't win it, let's try and draw it. If we lose, well, listen, at least we know where we went wrong. That's what I will say. And it's a lottery, the first game of the season. You don't quite know, what's going to happen, and that's why I'm sort of kind of lenient on that, as long as it's not a heavy defeat. Because imagine going to a place like West Ham where they're in trouble, and we go there and we get thumped. Because it can happen, but then it can give you a kick up the arse, and that's maybe what the pre-season's done. Because we come off of a very poor or to average pre-season, losing to the likes of Middlesbrough, Stoke, and obviously beating Crewe and Barnsley. I mean, beating them two, it's nothing you get excited about, but when you lose to the other two, that's why we're strengthened. And looking at the squad for what I'll go with, I think Steve Bruce will go with a 4-2-3-1 formation. He hasn't quite done his press conference yet, but this is kind of what he's going to go with. In goal, Carl Darlow. I believe he'll get in over Mark Gillespie, unfortunately. So looking at the back four, at left back, Jamal Lewis, right back, Javier Manquillo, the two centre-backs, Captain Jamal Lascelles and Federico Fernandez. The two in midfield for me will be Isaac Hayden and John Joe Shelby. The number 10 position will be Mickey Almiron. On the left-hand side will be Joe Linton rather than Fraser, because I think Fraser is touch and go. He'll most likely come on in the second half, but if he does start first half, then he will be a threat. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with ASM. For me, one of the go-to men to try and get with forward, to try and break down a defence and potentially score. And up front, Callum Wilson, he will be our focal point. He's got the number 13 shirt. It was rumoured that he was going to get number 9. So if I did mention it in the video, you got the number 9, I do apologise. Like I say, that's the kind of side Steve Bruce is going to go with, and I'll be happy with that. But let's cut on to Liam for his thoughts on all things West Ham United.
Alright, so it is the West Ham United versus Newcastle United preview for this Saturday's game, the opening fixture of the 2021 Premier League season. To be honest with you, I'm really not looking forward to this game. We have made 0 signings. To be honest with you, I think Newcastle United are a team to watch this season. I'm really looking forward to seeing how Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser will fit into that side. To be honest with you as well, they're signs that I would have liked to have made personally at West Ham, but yet we are just not spending any money at all. We're the only side in the Premier League not to buy anyone either, so I'm really not hopeful, not just for this game, but for any game we're coming up against. I'm really not hopeful for West Ham's season at all. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Newcastle. I'm just really not seeing how the game's going to change, really, if that makes sense. I think you've got a lot of talent there. Callum Wilson always likes to score against West Ham. I think in his last 8 games against West Ham, he scored in 7 out of 8, and that last one he didn't score against us. I think he came on a sub late on, so I'm really not hopeful, and there's no way we're going to keep a clean sheet, and we are just so open at the back, as we did not invest in any centre halves. But yeah, so a 2-1 to Newcastle. Really not looking forward to it. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Fatal LG. I'll see you guys soon.
So Liam's not really thinking positive for the game on Saturday. He doesn't believe that West Ham United are going to have a good season. And I totally sympathise with Liam. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for the West Ham United fans. You're a big club, but your owner is screwing you over big time. They're greedy, and all they think about is themselves. Very similar to Mike Ashley. But what I will say about our owner right now is that he wants to sell the football club. He's finally listened after 13 years. West Ham, you have the same problems year in, year out, and it's about time that they finally leave. And I really do feel like you are a club that need to progress. You're a club that have moved into the Olympic Stadium, and I'm sure the idea behind it was to get you into that top 7, but you had never looked like it. David Moyes isn't a fan favourite, and you look at David Moyes, you didn't want him in the first place after Pellegrini was sacked, but he'd worked under the owners before. And you look at him, yeah, he's not the best, but he's trying. He's working with his hands tied behind his back. I'm sure you'll admit that. And he kept you up last season, but going into the new season with you're not signing any players isn't great. It's a mess at West Ham United right now. Selling players behind the manager's back isn't always a good sign. Dean Garner going to West Brom. There was reports that I heard on West Ham Fan TV saying that apparently he could be, walking out. And I'm sure that's not going to do the West Ham fans any favours, if anything, because you need a manager going into the season. But then again, at the same time, David Moyes isn't what West Ham fans want, so it probably isn't a bad thing. But then again, there might be a divide there, because some may like David Moyes, not all do. But then I look at the West Ham squad there. Yes, despite you not spending, you have got a decent side. Yes, you don't score enough goals, but there is abundance of quality. And I feel like you are a tough nut to crack at times. I went down for the 3-2 win, and we did everything to try and bottle a 3-0 lead. And you did get back into the game. And against our team right now, we need to gel. So you're playing us at the right time. I know you've got some tricky fixtures ahead after this game, so you'll be trying to look for the win. But I'm sure you'll be positive. You'll be looking forward to the new first game of the season, even if it's not so good. I think looking at your side, you need to add goals into your game. That's what I will say. You have got players that can do it. They just need to really take the initiative and get at teams more. They need to kick up the arse. That's what they need. You know, you've got some quality players like Antonio, who I think, you know, if you give him the right service, he's got pace, he can put the ball in the back of the net. At times, we can switch off at the back, so I'm sure he'll be a threat. Felipe Anderson, you know, he's been a bit of a dead eye, I feel like. He's a good player, you know, he's got talent, he's got pace, Brazilian. He just needs to show more of his ability, and I'm sure you'll get more goals from there. You've got Mark Noble. I look at your side, you still need to strengthen, that is for sure. But with the quality that you've got, there's no reason why you couldn't match us on Saturday, because we're still learning our game. Players that I've mentioned are still learning Steve Bruce's way. David Moyes, of course, will need to win this game. The pressure will be on, even if the fans aren't there, because after this game against us, if you don't beat us, then, of course, you're going into a tricky run. But all in all, I think it's going to be a tough game from a Newcastle fan's point of view. I'm not going to take you guys lightly. I believe it will be a tighter scoreline. I think you'll be up for the fight. We'll be up for the fight. First game of the season. Like I say, it's a lottery. You don't know what to expect. And, you know, I like West Ham as a club. I love the fans. And when I went down to the Olympic Stadium, you know, he's made us feel so welcome. And, you know, I've got a soft spot for you. And I want you to have a good season. And I want you to try and sort out your ownership situation. If you can sort that out, then West Ham can get back to being in, you know, the top 10. Because I'll say you're a big club. Very alike to us in terms of fan base as well. And what you expect and what you demand, you know, from your players. And for a score prediction, I'm going to be optimistic. First game of the season, 2-1 Newcastle. Goals by Callum Wilson and possibly ASM. You know, they're going to be the players that you're going to have to watch out for. Callum Wilson, ASM. Also Fraser, if he comes on. If he starts or if he starts second half, a very good threat there. You know, we've got Matt Ritchie off the bench. You could also see on the side, Hayden and Shelby. You know, we've got some talent there. You know, we've got a strong enough side that's capable enough of, you know, doing something. So, yeah, I'm expecting, you know, what's going to be a very, very difficult game on Saturday evening. And we'll go from there. And fingers crossed we can get the 3 points. But if we draw the game, all depend on performance, I'll take it. You know, it's a step in the right direction. It's a point on the board, but you want to be trying to look for all three. So thank you so much for watching. If you are a West Ham United fan, then welcome to the channel. Please subscribe. I will be doing a match review at the end of the game. I will be on Irons United as well on Friday for about 15 minutes, giving my thoughts and opinions for the up-and-coming fixture. So if they're watching, thank you very much for having us on. And yeah, it should be good. And I am looking forward to the new season, you know, back to doing match day vlogs when it's safe to do so. And I'm trying to get to 3,300 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, then that would be cool. It's free to do so. And like I say, it just helps the channel to grow. And less than 30 away now. If you could do that, there's daily content where I try to do so and keep it, you know, flowing. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Keep it tuned. How are the lads?
Hey,